Good evening. This is my vocabulary lesson plan. The teacher objective is that to use sentence level context as a clue to the meaning of a word or phrase, and this falls under ELA Literacy Common Core Standard L.1 1.4a. And then to define words by category and by one or more key attributes, and that falls under the Literacy Standards 1.5b. So for review, the teacher will review the attributes of a tall tale. The teacher will ask class, what is a tall tale? And the teacher will respond, that's right, a tall tale is a fictional story that stretches the truth. Then the teacher will prompt students to volunteer ways to tell if a story is a tall tale. Attributes to encourage include a tall tale includes lots of exaggeration. It looks like it happens in real-time history. The characters have superhuman powers, and the problem is solved in a humorous way. The materials needed for the review include a tall tale anchor chart, and this will be done in a whole group setting. The purpose and importance of this lesson are specific word instruction to increase vocabulary learning and comprehension, resulting in increased comprehension of text. The continuity, yesterday we did the first read aloud and introduced the concept of a tall tale. Today, we will read the story again and define teachable words for greater comprehension. Tomorrow, we will explore more teachable words to further the comprehension. The objective is the learner will be able to produce the meanings of words and develop in-depth knowledge of word meaning. The motivation. The teacher will read aloud the book, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs by Judy Barrett. So this is a book, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs by Judy Barrett, and illustrated by Ron Barrett. We were all sitting around a big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we each could eat, and Grandpa was doing the flipping. Seconds later, something flew through the air headed toward the kitchen ceiling and landed right on Henry. After we realized that the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully. All the other pancakes landed in the pan, and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. That night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he'd ever told. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts, and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. And so I would first go ahead and read through the entire book, since this is the second read aloud. And then procedures for this lesson. The behavioral objective is that the learner will orally be able to produce and understand the meanings of words in text with 80% accuracy, and this falls under the understanding and evaluating levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So this will all be done in whole group. And as we move on to the procedures, the teacher will present a PowerPoint presentation to introduce the target words and their definitions to the class. So this is a PowerPoint that I put together for the lesson. The teacher will present the slide with the word, a picture cue, and a context sentence. So here our first word is incident. The teacher will ask, let's examine the word incident. Let's say the word together, incident. And the teacher will ask, and then the teacher will read the word and say, the story tells us that that night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he'd ever told. And then the teacher will say, using your context clues in this picture, what do you think the word incident means? The learners will volunteer their predictions. And then the teacher will say, let's see if we are correct. The teacher will look up the word in a dictionary to check the correct meaning. The teacher will provide a different context for the word, making her own sentence. So then the teacher will say, there was an incident in the kindergarten classroom that made the fire alarm go off. And then the teacher will engage the students actively with the word by having the student finish an idea. The teacher will present, can you finish my idea about an incident around the school? There was an incident on the playground, and then she would ask for volunteers to complete her idea. The teacher will volunteer, the learner will volunteer the completion of the idea. The learner will move on to the teacher will move on then to the next slide, repeating the process as listed above for each vocabulary word. So this is the process that was presented in our Big Purple book about, putting it into a different context, a different sentence, and then asking the students to finish an idea that the teacher comes up with, just to check for comprehension. Also, the teacher could, she will look up the words in the dictionary to check the correct definitions, and as she proceeds along, she could even pick a student from the group to look up the word and make sure that the definition is correct, whatever the students are predicting. So here I have chosen incident, gradual, damaged, abandoned, and necessities. Those are the 5 words that were chosen for this lesson. For the second procedure, the teacher will present the attached word map in a literacy centers for further understanding. So the teacher will model completion of the word map for the first vocabulary word. So this is the word map that I made for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. First, the teacher will model this on the overhead for students to complete in their literacy centers. And I did literacy centers this time because I know the class that I'm going to be working with has literacy centers. And so the students will write the word incident. They will maybe draw a picture, and it may be something that they've seen either here or maybe the pancake on the head incident from the book. Then the students will make up their own sentence, and they may say something like, there was an incident at school that caused the fire alarm to go off. Or if we've, been through that at school, which we did experience that this week, so that's what I came up with. And then they will write the definition down here at the bottom. So the teacher will model this for the first word incident, and then direct as the students will complete this in their literacy centers, either with their group, they could work with a partner. I know that her centers involve small groups of about 4 or 5 children per group, and so then they can choose how they want to work and complete that, and then they have the week to kind of finish the work that they're given. So then the teacher will model the completion of the word map, and the learner will complete the word maps for each vocabulary word throughout the week in the rotating literacy centers. The assessment for this, of course, will be the written response, and this can be done individually, in small group, or with a peer. In closure, the teacher will reinforce the word meanings by asking what the word means. So then you'll go through the word saying incident. What does incident mean? Well, incident is something that happens, a small event that happens that may lead to a larger event. Gradual is moving or changing little by little. What is damaged? So then students will come back to the rug, back to the whole group, and the teacher will review and going over all of the definitions. Damage is to hurt a person or a thing. Abandon means to leave something because of danger. And necessities are the things that are the most important. This will be done in whole group assessment. For homework, the students will bring home a matching vocabulary game to practice. So this is the matching game that I created. And of course, they will cut out all the pieces and then use them for a matching game. For early finishers, the learner will play the matching game in the vocabulary literacy centers for review. For special needs, the learner with a reading or writing disability will work with a paraprofessional or a strong peer to complete word maps in the centers. So if I had a student with special needs and they're working in literacy centers, I would pair them up with a strong learner that could help them complete the task. The English language student will be equally paired with a student that has strong English language skills to complete the word map. For remediation, extended time will be offered later in the day to complete the word maps with a paraprofessional. And for enrichment, the learner will listen to the audiobook, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and use the Word Wizard bookmark. This is the Word Wizard bookmark, and that was found on the Florida Center for Reading website. So the learner will listen with headphones to the audiobook and point out other words that they may be curious of or not sure of the meaning. So here you can fill out the book title, the author, and then the words and which page they are on, and then the teacher can use that for further instruction through the next days in vocabulary. And that would be a written response. So that would be the end of our vocabulary lesson.